Hey everybody, it's time to introduce Project Estate. What we have here is a US delivered 1965 Ford Mark 1 Cortina Estate or station wagon. These cars are pretty rare in the US. Whilst they were delivered here, there's not many of them around anymore. We picked up the car from someone down in Phoenix, Arizona, and it spent a lot of its life in Utah, so there's very little rust in the car. The body's in pretty good condition, generally speaking. There's a little bit of rust in the usual places, like on the top of the front shock towers, and a little bit of rust on the chassis rails, but all of that should be pretty easy fixes. There's also a few dents here and there, predominantly in the front of the car, on the front quarter panels, and a little bit of damage on the rear of the car, but all of that should be pretty easy fixes as well. Otherwise, the body's in really good condition, pretty straight with very little rust, which is a great find for a British car of this age. The car's going to go through a full refresh with us, covering all the mechanicals, body and interior. Up front, we've got a Ford Focus ST 2-litre EcoBoost engine going in, coupled with a Mazda 6-speed gearbox. In the rear, we're going to convert the car to a 5-link rear end. These cars originally didn't have any shock absorbers in the rear, they just rode on the leaf springs, so they tended to handle like a horse-drawn cart. So there's a fair bit of room for improvement in the rear end. The interior is going to get a full refresh and modernisation, but we're still going to stay true to its roots, and there'll be a full electrical upgrade to go with it as well. We're really looking forward to this project. It's going to be pretty unique on the streets of the US. Let's have a look at the car now and see where a lot of the work's going to be. As you can see from the grille, there's been a bit of a hit in the front, so we're going to have to replace the grille on it, and then there's a bit of metal work behind that that'll need fixing up. Some of that metal work may have to come out to accommodate intercoolers and radiators and whatnot. We have a look, you can see the usual rust for a British Ford. The shock towers have got it on both sides. But we can get replacement panels for these pretty easy, so they'll get cut out and fixed up. At least upon initial inspection, the metal underneath is all pretty good, so it's just that top skin that needs replacing. There's a few dents on both front quarters, as we can see from some of the circles around them here. But they're all pretty easy to fix. The guards will have to come off to get the shock towers fixed, so whilst they're off, we'll be fixing up the guards as well. The other side's pretty much the same. A couple of dents here and there that'll need fixing up. All the original metal's still there for the dash and radio and whatnot, so nothing's been cut out of the car. It's all in really good condition. There's no rust anywhere else except for the shock towers and one chassis rail, which we'll have a look at shortly, but the rest of the car is in pretty good condition. Even the roof is pretty straight and dead straight. The rear guards are all in really good condition. A little bit of a dent in that rear quarter panel there. That one will be pretty easy to fix. As you can see, there's a bit of surface rust on the car since the car was sandblasted, so we're going to have to clean all that off. That should all be pretty straightforward. We're pretty excited about this build. I think the car is going to come out great when it's finished. It'll be a little bit of time yet, but stay tuned and watch the progress.